What's up, folks? Good afternoon. It's Friday. You already know. Happy New Year. Today's guest is a great guest. It is a special person in my life. He's inspired not only myself, but a whole community of people in the mixed martial arts community. And I am so proud. It is episode 9. We've made it. I can't believe it, but we're here. And so, without any further ado, welcome John Wai to the Lisa with a Z podcast.
Thank you very much for having me on, Lisa. I've been very excited about this. Been watching your show, and then I know you mentioned you're like, hey, we got to put together a show with you on it, and here I am. This is pretty exciting, and talking with you online, I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
I'm glad you're excited, Sifu. Honestly, thank you so much for doing this. I'm there for the team always. You guys have been there for me through so many things in my life, and you guys were a big inspiration and a part of the reason why I'm doing this show too. And I only want to see the gym grow and get bigger, and you guys are definitely on the right track on getting there for sure.
So, right. Well, thank you very much. You've been our #1 fan since forever. Not just as a fan of our fighters, but when you were living down here, you participated in all the training, the fight camp, and everybody wants to get in shape. Everybody wants to be a fighter, and for me, it's like when you're doing this for this forever, it goes in one ear and out the other. But I see things, and if I see people like you that are very consistent in training, it's an inspiration for us. So really, hats off to you for sticking with us, and all the training and following through, and now look what it has turned into, and all the players down here in the game, all the best teams, the coaches, the fighters, and everybody knows about you. So I feel kind of I feel gratified that I've been connected with you from the beginning.
Okay, there's no school like the old school. I gotta stay true to the team. As much as I've developed relationships with so many other people and coaches and fighters, I always knew, like, deep down there was a bigger purpose on the reason why I would attend all the fights and be with the promoters and be with the guys and even see them work. The thing, I think it was just me being able to see Daniel and all the guys in the gym and see how hard they work to get to those fight nights, and then the building up and support and the love and the effort and their good days, their bad days, their injuries. I've seen it all. And so for me to go to the fights and then see them put in their all in the cage, how can I not support them? And then so now I'm here, and I still support them. I support other fighters as well. I support other coaches as well, because it's all love in the community at the end of the day, even though it's the fight game. But you are definitely everybody knows about John Wai too.
Thank you.
Which makes me proud to be a part of the John Wai family. And so we'll continuously try to promote and continue to support. And I only look forward to nothing but success for the whole team.
Well, we appreciate that as a team, Lisa. Always appreciate your support, and like I said, it's really it feels great to have people like you just always on us and always promoting us out there, and it really is. I'm so thankful for that. So thank you.
You're welcome, Sifu. So let's get a little bit into detail about you, because this is about you. Thank you for giving me the praises too, but this is about you today. So how long have you been training in mixed martial arts?
Well, I always been in martial arts, but in about probably over 10, 15 years ago, I wanted to get better at my jiu-jitsu game. I got introduced to jiu-jitsu with the Gracies at first. Obviously, they made a lot of noise with jiu-jitsu, and I wanted to learn the ground game. I thought it was the coolest thing to watch. The first couple UFCs, and the thing for me, it was always time, and I had the opportunity back then to train with the American Top Team. And of course, they have some of the best coaches, especially when it comes to jiu-jitsu. I mean, They are
Right.
definitely one of the best teams. So that gave me an opportunity to train with them. And I love the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training. So I even had the opportunity to open up 2 American Top Team locations down here in South Florida. So I got really in deep, and it gave me a different insight. Because I always operated my own school, but being part of that team and seeing how they train their fighters gave me some really good insight of how they incorporate the striking, the wrestling, and the jiu-jitsu into MMA. And
Mm-hmm.
I was the striking coach, and I had the opportunity to teach Sanchow with to mixed martial arts fighters, which was pretty exciting. And it was a kind of different twist. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the guys that I taught back then, American Top Team, they're still out there fighting right now. Some are still with ATT, some with other teams, but they always remember back in the days when we were, in striking class, and we were trained pretty hard. But so I became more involved with training jiu-jitsu, and I learned to incorporate that into my own training and my own experience. And of course, a lot of that influence, and it's a little bit selfish in a way, because I wanted to bring that knowledge back to my own school. My own
Right.
school, we've been open, I think we're going 24 years this year. That, bringing that knowledge and the instructors into my school gave my team the opportunity to cross train, in the wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and incorporating all those elements into our fight game. So
Right.
we're always out there fighting. We always fought in, there wasn't a lot of Sanchow tournaments back in the day.
Right.
There's few, and of course we're fighting that, but we would have to go fight Muay Thai rules as well. And eventually, once we started gaining experience with BJJ, we started doing Naga and all the Grappler's Quest and all those other tournaments down here. And that's pretty much the story of how we incorporate MMA into our school. I mean, we're a traditional school. All of us are traditional martial arts,
Right.
but we're very open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody can teach me how to throw a better round kick, I'm going to listen, and I'm going to learn it, and I'm going to learn to adapt it into my own arsenal.
Right. I mean, the beauty of mixed martial arts is that it's seen throughout so many different eyes. Even though it could be like the same move, everybody has their own vision of that move, and they could do it maybe a little bit different. And so that's why it has grown to be so popular, because somebody's going to learn something and then tweak it to their own, and then hey, it becomes a power move or a signature move that somebody names it, so that's what I love about mixed martial arts. It's always a learning experience, no matter what. Every day you're going to learn
To that
something
is,
new.
we're in South Florida. I mean, this is
Mm-hmm.
like the mecca of martial arts. There
It's
are
true.
so many great teams, great coaches, and great fighters. So if you go out there and you're out there watching a lot of events, the amateurs look like pros. When
They
the
do.
fighters leave South Florida and they go to other states, they have a huge advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And this, on the same token, if you're putting fighters in events down here and you're not well trained, or you don't train the fighters, with the right arsenal and the right techniques and the right mindset, listen, they're going to be at a huge disadvantage. And it's
Mm-hmm.
really a big compliment to all the people involved in MMA down here. And because the skill level is so high. I mean, high level jiu-jitsu, high level striking, high level wrestling, you have it all down here. So there's
It's
no
true.
excuses to not have one of those MMA elements be a part of your arsenal for your fight team. And we're real fortunate and that we are part of the fight game, and having the opportunity and the ability to compete at that level. It's something I'm very proud of, and it's such a great community of people. I mean, people look at MMA and go, oh man, it's like all these guys going out there with tats and looking hard. But listen, they're really good people. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys, the fighters, they train hard. They don't
Mm-hmm.
just go in and go, hey, let's spar. They're trained
Right.
sparring, they're trained wrestling, they're trained jiu-jitsu, weight training, conditioning, you name it. Whatever they can do to get in shape and to arm themselves better techniques to be a better fighter, they're out there doing it. So they're real educated.
Right.
So if you talk to a lot of these fighters, which you do, they're very humble, very, very good people down here. And
Yeah.
they're just badasses.
I love it because I've seen the people be badasses and they can be the sweetest, gentlest, kindest soul. And so it's a little bit of both. So I love it. I love that you can shed so many different sides of yourself in the mixed martial arts community. You don't have to be like a stagnant person and just be one way. Just like me, like, I'm cool. I like to have fun and everything, but like once I get the gloves on, it's a whole different
That's it.
experience.
That's right.
It's a whole different mindset. Um, so coronavirus 2020, big change in the gym. I already know that it was pretty tough during quarantine. I think this whole year has just been crazy all around. How did it affect the gym, and what changes did you have to do in order to like make sure that John Wai stays open?
Where do we start? Well, 2020 for everyone, and not just the martial arts business, just the business in general, has been very challenging. But one thing I will say, and we pivoted a lot. Like, every week it was a different priority for us. But one thing I will have to at least mention, and is really, really important, is my team. Okay, my team of instructors. I mean, this group, really, we basically became chameleons. We had to change colors every week, and we had to do things so differently. It wasn't for the team that I have, we wouldn't have made it through like we did in 2020. It's definitely not the same. Pre-COVID, we were at the top of our game. We never been as busy, had that many members, but once COVID hit, it changed that. And so
Mhm.
one of the first things we did, like most gyms did, is we taught virtually.
Mhm.
And that was a challenge too, because we had to all of a sudden learn to teach through Zoom, and not
Right.
just teach, but we had to make it exciting. We had to become not just instructors, but we had to become kind of like entertainers, and
Right.
we had to perform. So that changed, but throughout the whole process, the team, we continue to train. We continue to have our meetings, and we just basically had to make adjustments whenever we needed.
Mhm.
Since we were allowed to reopen with in-person classes, we basically doubled. So we were teaching 35 virtual classes when we were shut down. When we
Mhm.
opened, we added another 30 classes in person, and now we have 75, I think 80 classes per week. So when you walk into my location, we're like a TV station. We became a media company versus just a martial arts academy. You have
Right.
one end, somebody's teaching virtual. You have the other end, they're teaching in person. Then you have a social media guy or girl going around, doing social media, and you have your sales and customer service up front. But it's been a big change. It's been a big challenge. I'm happy to see 2020 to be over with. And I know a lot of school owners had a lot of hard time, but it became also an opportunity to network, because a lot of
Mhm.
the business owners, the martial arts business owners, we had to collaborate and exchange ideas to help each other out, to see how we can get through this.
It's true.
So it's been a huge challenging year for everyone, but we're still here,
Yeah.
and we're still out there fighting. And it was definitely an interesting year when it came to fighting. We had to go to different venues with no audiences, so everything was different this year.
Yeah. How do you think that? Yeah, because in the fights I know there was no fans anymore, and that's tough because part of the fight life is the people that come to watch, and hype it up, and it's loud and it's crazy, and you have a background, just like the last fight we went to, which we will talk about in a minute.
Hmm.
Um, to go to from that to just two teams, everybody's on alert, 6 feet, please. But like, you're going through testing, you're going through all these checks on top of also going through a fight camp.
Hmm.
I know that Daniel had a couple fight camps with the other guys as well, but I know you guys had to take top priority to make sure everybody's safe at the same time.
Hmm.
Do you feel that this experience of having to change your whole game plan as far as the training technique has improved or given you a better feeling of challenge? and just overcoming whatever obstacles to get to the goal at the end of the day? Or is it just like you just go with life, what life gives you, and you just make it work?
Well, a little bit of both. I mean, when we're talking about, the fight camp, it was a little different, because, not only were my guys training to fight, but they're my instructors as well too. And we were going through a lot. We were working hard. I mean, every day it was a different thing to do, different priorities. And they would teach all day, and literally at 10 o'clock at night, they would start training. So it definitely affected us in that sense. But on the flip side, we learned a lot. There's a lot of positive to what happened this year. It gave me an opportunity to slow down a little bit, and spend more time with my fight team. And with that, we brought in another coach or two to help us out. And it's actually, that's the other side of it, is there's a lot of good that came out of it. We learned a lot, and we became closer as a team. And we have our goals for 2021. For winning, it's great, but
Right.
also when you lose, you also learn a lot too.
Right.
So it was a little bit of both for us. Where on one end it was challenging, but the other end, we learned a lot, and we made a lot of adjustments. And we look at that as, hey, listen, it was good changes that we made.
Yeah. I've taken the Zoom class with you guys. I've also I came in last weekend, and I took a class. I gotta say, in my gym, we do use the masks, but like you guys, we all have to schedule, and we're all 6 feet, and but we don't wear the masks while we're working out. And I did with you guys, and I'm not gonna lie, I was dying. I was dying.
It is challenging. It is challenging. As a business owner, it's I'm always grappling within myself. What is the right thing to do? What is not the right thing to do? What makes common sense, and what doesn't? And
Right.
like I said, whichever way we go, there's always going to be somebody who's happy and somebody who's not going to be happy about it. So
Absolutely.
I accepted the fact that we're not going to make everybody happy. Okay. And that's okay. It's 2020, is everybody's on different sides. But one thing I will say is one of the things that has contributed to our success, as a gym, is our environment. Okay. When people walk in our environment, we want everybody to be treated equal. There is no prejudice. There's no discrimination. I don't care how much money you make, what you wear, what color you are. You come in, and we're all the same. And I expect that with my members and my instructors, that we treat everybody with respect. Okay. And of course, we have people who are very unhappy. They'll come in and go, I can't believe you guys have masks on. They blast us on social media. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because, hey, we're not for you. There's many different, businesses out there, gyms out there you can train at. Some wear masks, some don't, some have restrictions. I mean, there's something for everybody. So, we can't make everybody happy, but we also want to maintain that atmosphere, that positive atmosphere that we're used to, and this is what we promote. And if you don't like it, it's okay. Go somewhere else. And if you do like it, then stay and train and have fun. And the hour that you come in, you're going to forget about your daily problems, and you're just going to worry about getting out of that chokehold, or how to stop somebody from hitting you in the face 20 times in one round.
You're not going to be worried about the mask at that point.
No, exactly.
So we went to the XFN fights. It was a main event for Daniel, which was a great experience, great opportunity. He's definitely grown a lot this year in the mixed martial arts community. I'm super proud of him. He was on the episode of the Liza with the Z podcast as well.
Nice.
And I remember watching the fight. I know that this guy was a very tough opponent. He's been a champ for a while. So I know it was a big deal for Daniel to go for this belt. Now, after reviewing tape, I'm sure you guys sat down, you've had the meeting, what went right, what went wrong. Um, what are you feeling right now after that fight?
Well, I mean, first of all, Daniel is an awesome is an awesome martial artist, okay, and just a great fighter. He's very smart. He has a great attitude. He trains hard, and that was his goal. His goal in 2020 was to get a title shot, okay,
Yeah.
and we didn't think it was going to happen with COVID happening, and
Yeah.
the promoters having a hard time with shows. But somehow we made it happen. XFN, Daniel at XFN gave us the opportunity, and we knew it was going to be a tough fight. His opponent, is a very tough guy. He controls 185 and 170. He controls two divisions and just beating everybody in the first round.
He's
But
very long.
he's long. He's long. He's long.
Yeah.
And he's strong, and he's very, very good. And yes, we went in there. We had a game plan. Okay, and obviously the game plan didn't work as we wanted. We wanted to go all 3 rounds, or even or go for a submission or a knockout. But the guy was strong, and he got on top, got a position on Daniel, and that was that. I'll tell you what, though, this is what I respect the most about my team. I hate losing. Okay, and I know everybody else does. I'm very competitive. I'm not just talking about fight sport. I mean, any sports you do, I could play backgammon and checkers with my family. I want to win, and I don't like to lose. But these, Daniel took the loss. We went back to the back, and he just, first thing he says to me after taking a couple minutes off, it's like, I'm ready to get back in January. That's it. I mean, Jesus Christ, we're fighters. We're martial artists. We go out there and teach everybody, hey, man, don't quit. If you get knocked down, get back up. Well, you know what? We have to practice what we preach. Okay. We go back, and trust us. We went back. We looked at tape. We looked at what Daniel did. We looked at what we did as coaches. What our strategy was, and of course, we would have to change some things around. But at the end of the day, you can have a strategy going inside the cage, and it may not work. You're taking a risk, and we wanted to be aggressive with this guy. We want Daniel to be aggressive, and the guy, Reyes, very, very smart guy. He timed it perfect. He timed the takedown. We went back, and he comes off his opponent, Reyes. He comes off with a really tough persona, And let me tell you something. The guy is a super nice guy, very respectful. He didn't make weight at weigh-ins. He walked right up to it as soon as we walked in, apologized to us, very professionally. Same as after the fight, he came up to us and goes, listen, I apologize for the 1 pound. I mean, that's a martial artist, even after all that, for all he was worried about is, listen, man, I didn't lose that 1 pound, and you know what? I don't like losing, but if I'm going to lose, I'd rather lose somebody like that and we get beat, and it's okay, because you know what? We're going to come back stronger. We know what we did, and we're going to come back next time. Daniel's going to get his title. I will guarantee you that. We'll keep fighting until we get it. But Daniel,
I will see it happen. I'm seeing it happen.
Listen, he is such a smart, calculated fighter. We haven't even seen his talents inside a cage yet. And I can say that for the rest of my team. His brother Maurice, highly skilled. And we have other fighters that are coming through the pipeline, and we're just so excited to get them in. We're so excited just to be a part of the MMA community, and we as a team, we have a lot to do.
Yeah, and I know you have a pro on your team as well. What's his name?
Joey.
Yes, Joey. Sorry, Joey.
Yeah.
I haven't officially met him yet.
You haven't? Oh, you're going to love Joey. You need to have Joey. Listen, you need to have Joey on this. You need to have all my guys on there, because we all got tons of stuff to say. Joey's a character. I met Joey at American Top Team. He came in as a teen. He was like, I think 13, 14 years old. I took him to his first full contact Sanchow tournament in Orlando. And I could listen, the kid, he's a scrapper. He's a scrapper. We kind of broke apart for a couple of years. He trained with another team, and he came back to us about, I guess, a year and a half ago. He wanted a team to help him develop, to help him develop his skills in striking and jiu-jitsu, his ground game and wrestling. And
Mhm.
he fits in perfect. And the guy, he's just a scrapper. And yeah, we got big things ready for him. Wait till you see how, wait till you see how he comes out in 2021.
I feel like the team is just growing. The team is getting bigger. You guys had an amazing year for fights this year. David as well had great fights this year. I know he's out right now due to like a surgery he had. He's gonna be on the show too eventually. I've already talked to all of them. Like,
Have
hey,
you? All
I
right.
need you on my show.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I just want to kind of like if they have fights coming up, I want to kind of do the week of their fight, and do a little interview for them. So
Right.
that's there's a plan to this
No, I'm sure
episode.
there is. I'm sure there is. I mean, with our team, we're not big like some of these other gyms, with a ton of fighters. We're a smaller unit, and I think it's by choice because we want to develop each fighter individually, if you know what I mean. Okay, so
Yeah.
rather than throw them all in group and go, okay, guys, you guys all train, you go out there. We try to have a smaller team and we try to focus on a smaller group to help develop them.
Mhm.
Right now that's our strategy. It may change in the future. We get a lot of requests, people who want to fight, who wants to train with us. And right now we're a little bit selective because of COVID. That's one reason that made us that way. But number two is that we feel that we can move a little faster with a smaller team, you know,
Okay.
and so that's where we're at with that. And the guys have really developed on their skills, and we just recently, I have a couple of coaches that work with me. One is Eric Morel. Him and I, we met at American Top Team. Guy's an excellent guy. He's one of
He's
the
super funny too.
he's
He's hilarious.
he's a trip, but he is one of the best fight coaches down here.
Mhm.
Another individual, his name is Joe Watson. He's a wrestling coach, high level wrestling, and he's been part of our coaching staff with our fighters. So we're definitely developing our wrestling game, and we're getting better and better.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We're martial artists. Our job is to get better each day and try to master our skills.
Absolutely. And I definitely see it. I've seen the improvement. I've seen Daniel's improvement since his first fight. And to see him doing a title shot this year was a big deal for me. I traveled just to make sure I was there for that. And
That's awesome.
that's just the commitment of how much, support is important also in the mixed martial arts. And a lot of people don't support because it's very combative and it can be very brutal and and just a very overall lion versus lion kind of sport. But at the end of the day, we all have like a humbleness about the respect and the journey that both fighters. It's really beautiful to see two fighters at the end of a good scrap at the end just hugging it out. And even in the UFC you see all their brawls and all the back talk, and then all of a sudden, hey, great show, or depending on who wins or loses, it's always a great event, a great experience to go through. So I'm glad that I can be able to see that for you guys.
Yeah, well, that's really important, especially for the general public. Most of the fight teams, we have a gym, we have members, right? And the persona that we project, it's so important. We're martial arts. Yes, we can go inside, lock yourself in a cage, and then two people try to beat the hell out of each other. But at the end of the day, when you're done, it's like, hey, listen, man, we can be best friends. We can talk about the fight, and it's okay. And I think I tell you, I enjoy that the most. I've been around this game for a while, and when I'm in the back room at these fights and having to talk to the coaches and even some of the fighters, like, listen, I don't care if they were our opponents. If you need help warming up, wrapping hands, whatever it is, listen, we're there to help. And
Yeah.
it's that community that I love being a part of. And
Yeah.
it's great. And 99.9% of people are very much like us. They're very humble. Yeah, yes, they're gonna want to kill you inside their cage, but that's their job, man.
Right.
That's their
Right.
job. So and then they come out, and then you guys can have a drink together and just talk and do a hug and shake hands and call it a day, or even train
Gonna
together in
bring
the future.
that up, that you wrapped her hands for her last fight at the XFN.
That's
for her
right.
last
That's right.
fight.
No,
So
it's
she was
funny. I
happy.
watched that. I
Yeah.
watched that. Listen, she's a cool girl. First time I didn't even meet her. Like,
Yeah.
the Daniel asked me, he goes, listen, can you do me a favor? And one of the fight teams coming from Tampa, they need their hands wrapped. I go, absolutely. So of course, when you wrap a fighter's hand, it's very personal,
Yeah.
because the fighters, they're in their zone. There's a lot of things going through their mind. I'm wrapping their hands, and I have to talk to them and kind of keep them calm. At least that's
Mhm.
why I do my fighters. Now I wrap other teams' hands a lot, so I have to sit down and talk to them a little bit and ask them what their background is. And one thing Kat didn't mention, what I said to her is, when I went up to her and I said, all right, my name's John, I'm going to wrap your hands, I just give me your hand, of course I'm wrapping it, and I go, listen, I only wrap winners. So she didn't mention that. I'm sure maybe she forgot, but I'll tell you what, I was like, man, I'll tell you, I never seen her skills. I never seen her fight until then. And I
Mhm.
watched her after I wrapped her hand. Of course, I'm gonna watch. I'm hey, listen, that's my
That's a
girl that I wrapped
warrior.
the hand out. Yeah,
I did
listen,
that.
she beautiful striking, beautiful
I
striking.
saw it. I saw the
And
fight.
yeah, we're big fans of her, and we hope that she continues her fight game, because she has nothing but
She's on her way
nothing but
up.
up. She's on her way up.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing Kat fight again. Hopefully we'll see that. So I know you guys are starting, I guess, 2021 with a new fight camp. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you tell us. You've been part of fight camp for a couple of months, couple of
This is one of
times.
the shirts. This is a custom
Oh
made
man,
John Wai
that's right.
Martial Arts fight camp shirt.
That's right. Listen, the fight camp concept is probably one of our most satisfying programs we ever released. And I didn't know this when we first came up with it. We did our first fight camp. So the idea is we would take all the elements of the fight camp, how we train the fighters, and we would market it to, everyday people. They go in there, before they start the fight camp, they would have a target weight, okay? And they would have their goal. And at the end of the fight camp, they would have their fight. We would set up an event, and they would have to fight the instructors, and it would be controlled, but you know how that gets. We can say, okay, you know what, light contact, and next thing you know, we're hitting each other hard. But that was the idea. So the first fight camp that we did, it was I believe it was 8 weeks, and we put this group through the same type of regimen we put through our fighters. You go through, weight training, dieting, striking, jiu-jitsu. And after the first fight camp, it was great. The event was great. Everybody showed up. They invited their friends and family. It was a nice event. And where I realized that we had something special was we went out afterwards to have drinks, and to celebrate. And everybody came up to me and said, it's not about the fight camp. It's about your mindset, and how, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything you want. And I was like, bingo. Okay.
Yep.
And I was like, wow. I go, that really touched me, because I was like, sometimes it takes years for people to train in martial arts to realize that. But this particular group realized that within 8 weeks, that if you put your mind to it, you can do anything you want. Okay. And I know we had 2 coaches, there's 2 groups, and they would personally coach each fighter during the fight camp. They would have like a daily check-in or a weekly check-in. And sure, you had crying, you had people wanting to give up,
Mm-hmm.
you had people
Yep.
complaining, it's too hard. So you have all those challenges coming into place, but at the end of the day, they made it through, with their struggle. And it really is the same struggles the fighters go through. So after that first event, I was like, oh man, we have something. Like, this is pretty special,
Mm-hmm.
and it does take a certain type of individual to make it through, because my coaches, they're not easy.
Nope.
You sign
They're
your
not.
name on you sign your name on the dot, you pay the fee. Listen, you're committed. It's
No excuses.
no
Oh my gosh.
excuses. It's 2 different things. I mean, you went through it 3 fight camps. Okay. Tell us what you felt and what made you keep coming back for all three?
Okay, so I remember that first fight camp. I had just joined the gym, and I would see them on the other side while I was doing kickboxing. I still hadn't tried the striking yet. And it was a funny story how I even got into the striking class. But I would see everybody doing their boot camps, and I'm like, what's going on over there? They look like they're dying over there. Maybe I shouldn't go on that side. I'm gonna stay over here in the kickboxing side. But then I did ask Tamer at the time. I was like, hey, what's that class going on over there? They're like, oh, that's a striking class. That's if you want to learn how to, fight one-on-one or self-defense. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll look into it one day. And then I think Martin threw me into a class because they were one partner. Like, who's interested? You're interested. Come over here. Get in the class. Have you ever been in Shan Chow class? I was like, no, I've never been. And then Cindy, she beat me up that day. She didn't care that I was a first timer. She didn't care at all. And I was like, okay, now I know I got to step up my game so I don't get punched in the face. Memo to myself. And then I went to the first fight camp fight night, and I sat down and I watched Kevin, Steve, and a bunch of other people and how much they transformed. And I thought it was really cool that they were fighting the coaches one-on-one, and I was like, you know what? If they do it again, I'm going to sign up. And then that was it. And I signed up right after that for the first fight camp. The first fight camp, who was my first coach? Osai was my first coach. Mm-hmm. And it was great. He was very tough on me. I think the hard part, well, everything was hard, honestly. Everything was hard. I mean, he gave us teams, they did evaluations on where your skill level was, obviously. And then they gave you your goal. Also, many challenges. The journaling was a tough part for me because I had to look into a lot of who I am and what my fears were and what my doubts were and my insecurities. Mm-hmm. Because these were things that would pop up while I'm training in my mind. Because it's you against your own mind when you're That's training. Right. You got to push yourself during these moments of, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this? Forget this. I want to quit. I'm too tired. It's too heavy. Whatever it is.
All kinds of excuses.
Everything I could think of. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Anything I could think of.
We heard them all.
To give up. And those were moments I was realizing I was sabotaging myself from my own goals. And so writing these things out and, being able to just share it with the coach because it wasn't supposed to be shared with anybody else. And then they gave us feedback and how we can, apply different things to not only your life, but also on the mat and in the gym. It really helped me focus on a lot of my future goals, even to help me with my confidence to the point where I'm doing this podcast now. So it's That's just right. little things that help me develop and let go of a lot of fears and doubts that I had about myself and encouraged me to not only learn how to protect myself, but also to just be a fighter in all aspects of my life.
In all aspects of life.
And that's why I'm very thankful for the fight camps, and I definitely promote and I want whoever needs a change in their life for 2021, join the fight camp. It's a great program. They will push you to the point where you're cursing, you're crying, but you're also building a great community of friends because you're not the only one going through it. It's depending, I think about good 20, or I might be a little bit smaller now with COVID, but you get that one-on-one training. They're dedicated as much as you're dedicated. You cannot give up. And even on the times where you're going to give up, they're right there in your corner. And so I'm thankful to all the guys at the gym for putting up with me on good days and bad days. And the fights were always the best part at the end. I think we're the best.
I think you enjoyed it the most. out of everybody, everybody would freak out, because they're getting ready to fight the instructors, and we wouldn't tell them who they're fighting. But you were always excited. You had your game face on. You're like, damn,
I'm ready to go.
Right? And you know, it's funny because I'll be sitting in the back room before the fights on fight night, right? And everybody's freaking out. They're like, "Oh my God, I'm fighting this instructor and this instructor," you know. And I say, "Listen," I go, "You guys, for you guys to win, all you need is one good shot. That's it. You know, you don't need to beat somebody up. You just got to get one good shot. Let them know
It's
that, hey,
true.
man, I can get in on you if
It's
if I
true.
really try. And that's all you need. But no, I remember those fight nights. I remember how fired up you were and how much effort you gave. And, you know, it's not easy. You know, a couple rounds in front of people, and you know, after 6 weeks going through an emotional roller coaster, it's a lot of nerve, you know, coming on, a lot of adrenaline too.
I enjoy the adrenaline. I enjoy the rush. I enjoy the support. And but it's so crazy that like even on those nights where I'm in the ring and everybody's in there, honestly, Sifu, I could only hear your voice or like distinct voices
Right.
because I'm in the zone and I just hear you call out something and I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta adjust. And that is a good thing about being a coach. And even now when I'm training now, certain voices still pop up in my mind because you guys drilled us so much. And I'm just these are things that I'll never forget with my own life and my own training now. You know, now I'm more into the boxing side of it. But and I do want to get back into MMA, but you know, I have that core foundation that I've built with you guys. And
Thank you.
yeah,
That's
so
great to hear.
yeah, so join fight camp if you're ready for change.
That's right. We're getting ready to start that in January. I think like third week of January. And if you guys are interested, just reach out to me. And it's nothing but it's a great program. It really is. It's life changing. And you know, if you train martial arts, you know, you understand what martial arts, how it transformed you as an individual. If you never trained martial arts before, it's not about, hey, you know, you can go in there and get beat up, because all my friends, you know, if they don't train, they're like, I'm not going in. I don't want to get beat up. It's not about getting beat up. You know, you go in there to learn skills, and you're around people who are very positive, who have the same goals as you do. And all the lessons, I equate everything to fighting. You can apply anything in business, personal life, to fighting. You know, if your jab sucks, you go back and work the jab. Your social media game sucks, you learn how to post on Instagram. It's the
Mhm.
same concept. And it's, you know, when you join the fight camp, you know, our job is to transform you, and it will happen. If you can stick it out, and we actually changed to 6 weeks, you know,
Okay.
because we feel a 6 week time period is much more efficient. You know, we
Mhm.
can do a lot more, and you know, hopefully we can also do an event this time, because the last fight camp we did earlier in the year, COVID happened and we couldn't do the fight night. You know,
Right,
I
right.
always love the fight night. We were going to do it like live on Zoom, but I was like, nah,
Mm.
you know what? It's already tough for our professional fighters to fight with no audience. To
Oh
ask,
yeah.
you know, like, you know,
They
our
can,
regular
yeah.
members to go in there, yeah, it's a little challenging.
I get it. I mean, hopefully, you know, I'm wishing positivity towards the fight camp and I'm hoping everybody that joins, I wish you luck and I a lot of love. I am a veteran of the fight camp crew, so if you need any advice or you want to reach out to me too, I am always open for that. So John, I know you have so many different types of classes. You even do like women. You guys have like I don't even know how many classes, but it's exciting to see you guys do women defense, self-defense seminars. I also saw that you're doing like gun training now, like you're getting up there with the SWAT team, you
This
know,
is
like don't come to
well,
John Wai because if you come to John Wai, you're gonna leave out of here well trained for life.
well, I think is important, as you know, one of the things martial arts teaches, you know, we promote that we teach self-defense, right? And I
Right.
think it's a responsibility of being a martial arts instructor or martial arts academy to really teach effective self-defense. And this has a lot to do with MMA too. You know, to be proficient in MMA, you have to understand all the different elements. Well, to understand self-defense, you have to understand all the different elements. So, you know, in addition to hand-to-hand combat, you know, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, we also, you know, train in, you know, firearm and also weapon as well. And it's not for everybody, but for me, I love all the different elements. One the coach we have, his name is Troy Santa Maria. We call him the firearm coach. He's an excellent instructor. Even like our jiu-jitsu black belt Mario, he's also an instructor with Homeland Security. So we have some really qualified people, and we're getting ready to do a home defense course. And
Ooh.
I'm super excited about. We've been planning this all year, and COVID slowed us down a little bit. But basically, with all the firearm sales in the last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you know how to use it, or doesn't mean you know how to use it if something happens to your house, or when your alarm goes off, or when you come in. So we feel that we're going to put together a nice course to teach how to react for home defense, and I'm looking forward to it. So yes, we have a lot of things in the pipeline, and we just want to just equip people with proper self-protection techniques.
I think that's a great thing for the gym, and a great thing for members and non-members if you even want to join. Those courses are still available even if you're not a membership. There's just a
Yeah,
fee
you
to
can.
pay,
Yeah,
right?
when we put out some of these courses, like yes, you don't have to be a member, and we're going to start. Before COVID, we did a lot of free classes, like free kids self-defense class or kids anti-bullying, women's self-defense. We want to start that back up. We can't wait, to put on all these classes back. Just to, we're a community-based business, okay? And yes, we charge for membership, but at the same time, I think it's very important to be out in the community and to give back, because we've been in plantation 24 years. We've been very fortunate to be here for this long, and I think I owe it to the general public to always give back whenever we can.
Yeah, I saw you guys did like a Halloween drive-by thing for the shopping plaza, which was really cute. So you guys are definitely involved in the community. You guys always do the Chinese New Year shows in all different types of places and TV. And I mean, I'm very proud of this gym.
Thank
It's just
you.
like the things that I can say are just endless. And I can't wait to see what 2021 has for you guys. John, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I appreciate everything that you've done for me in my life and for everyone that literally comes into your life. I got to say that you've always shared a special moment with them, no matter what. So,
Oh,
um,
thank you
I
very much, Lisa. That really means a lot. I mean, it's like I always say, you're one of our biggest supporters, and just to hear how we've been a part of your life and how it's transformed you, and now podcast going. Listen, I'm super proud of you, and we will always be behind you in whatever you do. Okay, so keep it up, keep up the training, do box, MMA, jiu-jitsu, whatever you want, just do something. Keep developing, and this podcast, I love it. I'm a fan. And I watch all your episodes, and you're doing a freaking awesome job.
Thank you, Sifu. Oh, I'm not gonna get emotional.
Don't get emotional on here. Everybody's watching us. Everybody's watching us.
Okay, I'm not. I'm gonna fight her. Fighters don't quit. Okay, so you heard it here first. John Wai. Honestly, I think this is a very great episode. We talked about a lot of good things here. I'm gonna send all the links and all the tags about all the information for the fight camp and John Wai implantation. Thank you much, Sifu. I appreciate you so much, and I hope that you have a great new year. Let's get it.
All right. Thank you very much. Happy New Year.